Hi, welcome to Make Thrift Buy. This is the show where you send in clothes or accessories that you found on the internet and then I try to recreate them. Today's challenge was actually suggested about a year ago by this colourful chick, Mermaidens. And Kaylee, I'm really sorry this has taken me so long to get to. But then also a couple of days ago, Anna G also suggested that I try and make this skirt. So you know, I'm only really a couple of days late for Anna. Thanks, Anna. Anyway, the challenge, this skirt, is from American Apparel, and to be honest, it's really weird. I'm sorry if you like it. I personally just really don't understand in what situation you would want to wear this. But you know, that's happened a few times before I Make Thrift Buy where I've had a challenge that I thought this is really weird and then I've ended up really liking it. So maybe by the end, if I do manage to recreate it, I'll end up liking it. So anyway, let's begin. I got this big sheet of PVC vinyl from a random local dollar store. You know, one of those stores that sells everything. I'm pretty sure that it's actually meant to be used as a tablecloth, but I thought that it would also work well for this project. So let's just see how we go. First, I folded the material over in half. Now, all the steps I'm going to follow are basically the same as in my half circle skirt tutorial. So if you're interested in actually making this for yourself, then follow the steps on that tutorial. This video won't be as easy to follow because it turns out that clear vinyl is pretty much invisible on camera. But I will do my best to show you all what I did anyway. So I already had this pattern which I made in that tutorial. And just like in my half circle skirt tutorial, I lay my pattern down with one edge on the material's fold. However, instead of pinning the pattern to my fabric with pins, I taped it on with sticky tape instead because I didn't want to make any pinholes in the plastic. I'm also going to cut out the pattern using regular sharp fabric scissors because I didn't know what else I was supposed to use, and these will probably work fine, right? And yep, turns out they work totally fine. Hopefully I'm not blunting the scissors by doing this, but it worked. So I cut the skirt out, also cutting through all the sticky tape. And now I've got this half circle, which is pretty much impossible to see here because it's clear. Yep, great tutorial, Annika. Anyway, I wrapped it around my waist just to make sure that it fitted and that the flare is right, and it's perfect. I also cut myself a waistband. It's there, I promise, you just can't really see it. I cut out a waistband because the American Apparel one also has a waistband, and I'm trying to make it look the same, so a tip for cutting out the waistband. Add at least 3 extra inches to your waist measurement. My waist is 30 inches, but I always cut my waistbands out to 33 inches. There's maths reasons for this involving seam allowances and circumferences and pi, which I'm not going to get into right now, but just trust me. Add a few extra inches to your waistband. Now, sewing PVC. PVC is sticky. This means that your sewing foot will stick to it, it won't feed through properly, and your needle will be just stuck going up and down forever in the same spot. One option for sewing with PVC is to get yourself a Teflon foot. Now, I ordered this Teflon foot back in October and it just never showed up. I ordered yet another one in December and it too has never shown up. The universe clearly didn't want me to own a Teflon foot, so I looked for some other alternatives instead. A few blogs that I found suggested putting scotch tape on the bottom of your presser foot, so I tried that out. Now, you don't want to use regular sticky tape like this. You want to use tape that has a smooth, glossy surface on the non-sticky side. It doesn't have to be Scotch brand, mine wasn't, it just has to have those properties. So I stuck tape all over the bottom of my regular sewing foot, leaving a gap where the needle goes through, and then I tried it out on a scrap piece of PVC. And oh my god, you guys, I got really excited about how well it worked. What? Take that, eBay. Now it's time to sew the waistband onto the skirt. I did this in exactly the same way as I did it in my half circle skirt tutorial. However, I'm not pinning anything because again, I don't want to make unnecessary holes in the plastic. And then I started sewing. And sewing. And sewing. It turns out that because PVC is not very flexible, sewing something with a straight edge to something with a curved edge is really, really, really difficult. It does work out fine if you go slowly, very slowly. But it's a pretty long and frustrating process, let me warn you. Sewing on the waistband took me so long that I ended up in this kind of mad hypnotic trance, praying and whispering words of encouragement to my sewing machine, like it was a human being. Come on, you can do this. I love you. But finally, after a good half an hour, I got to the end. And I was pretty excited until I realized that that was only half the waistband sewn on. Now the next step is to fold the waistband over and then sew it back down onto the skirt. Again. Like this. Now in this step, I was very careful to go over the top of the previous stitches because all the stitches are going to be visible in the completed skirt and I only wanted it to look like there was one line of stitching. And when I was finally done, after another good half an hour or so, I was pretty happy to say the least. The last step is adding in a zipper. Now, I grabbed a zipper of similar length and the same color as in the American Apparel skirt. Like in my half circle skirt tutorial, I lined the zipper up with the skirt, and first I sewed normal straight stitches from here to here. Now, inserting the zipper is going to be a little bit different because I don't want to make temporary basting stitches because that'll make a whole bunch of holes in the material. So with the skirt still inside out, I attached the zipper to the skirt with the zipper facing up to the top flap of the opening, like this. The right side of the zipper should be touching the right side of the skirt. Then I sew the zipper down onto this side. To attach the zipper to the PVC, I'm using a zipper foot, with Scotch tape also stuck to the bottom, and I'm also using a straight stitch. Once the zipper was mostly attached to one side, I folded it in half and attached the other half of the zip to the other side. And again, I sew it on like this. Once the zipper is totally attached, I turn the skirt the right way around, which, it turns out, is not very easy to do. But I finally got it the right way around and now I was done. So, how did I go? Okay, so here's the thing. At first, I could not figure out how I would style this skirt if I were to wear it myself. I tried doing what they did in the American Apparel product shots, but no, wasn't feeling that. Wearing it over the top of other flared skirts is kind of cool and gives those skirts a kind of shimmery effect, but it's also not that comfortable, and honestly, I'd like to wear just the normal skirt without the plastic covering over the top. And I also felt like the only possible reason you would want to do this is for the following situation. Tilde, this meal is amazing. I just love beetroot so much. It's so... Oh my god, no, Annie! Don't worry, you guys.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Plus, if you hate doing the laundry like me, then you're in luck because washing it is really easy. If you're out in the rain, your skirt won't get wet, so that's another bonus. But in all seriousness, finally, with the help of my amazing colourful friend Katie, I did figure out a way that I would actually want to wear this skirt, which was to cover it in stickers. And the cool thing about this is that you can change the stickers up as you want, so you can have a different style skirt every day. And I love the versatility of that. So, in the end, I ended up liking it. My final conclusion is make! Definitely. If you want this skirt, then give sewing it yourself a go. Yes, the material is pretty frustrating to work with, but you don't actually need to buy any kind of special equipment because you can hack up a Teflon sort of sewing foot for yourself, which I think is really cool. Also, an environmental side note, I know from being a microbiology student that PVC production is bad for the environment because it's a polymer of vinyl chloride, and vinyl chloride is really bad stuff. It's probably not going to hurt you if you use it yourself. I mean, PVC is everywhere. It's one of the most common plastics that we use, but PVC production and vinyl chloride has also kind of screwed up a whole bunch of environments. So, you know, be careful with using too much of this stuff. Probably don't make your entire wardrobe PVC. I mean, do if you want. Just do you. Just be aware of the environmental impact. That's all I wanted to say. But just so you also know, PVC can be recycled. So when you're done with your skirt, make sure that the plastic in it is getting recycled. Anyway, that's it from me. You try out this or any of my other DIYs, tag me on Instagram with the hashtag DIYAnnika, and I'll see you all for my very next video. Bye bye! Thank you to all of my Patreon supporters who helped to bring you all this video. I also wanted to give a special shout out this episode to one of my business supporters, Little Gun Tank, who you can find on both Instagram and Etsy. They make the most adorable kids clothing out of recycled Disney bed sheets. And they're the cutest and the best, and you should all go follow their Instagram page to see more amazingness. You can find links to their Instagram and shop down in the description box below. Okay, this is me finally saying bye-bye this time. Bye, bye, bye!